hit too many buttons on the last one, so I had to make another call.
I saw that. I was
damn
like, who the hell is he being called?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Alright, we're good recording here. Good everywhere else. Gonna keep Octagon open on the side just in case. Alright, so you want to hit play with me in 5?
Yeah, whenever you are.
Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sweet.
Alright. What's going on, guys? It's the ADMW Winter Special. It's an awesome tournament.
Heck yeah, it is.
I'm Koshade, and I got Shark here.
Hello.
We're casting this sweet game. CapnRedBeard up in the top left being the priest, and around the corner.
I believe his name on challenge is MrBubu.
MrBubu, yeah, that's right. In the bottom right being the anvil. And CapnRedBeard, this is his first online tournament, but I believe he's one of your guys's.
Yeah, he's
in Ohio.
He's in Ohio in the Mansfield group, so he's a pretty strong player actually. He's got some cool ideas for some mages that are, we'll call them out of the box.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and I saw him play a few games over at Zot's that one time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that was pretty fun. It was pretty fun.
It was a good time.
And this is the first round. Actually, this was recorded a couple weeks ago, if I remember right. And we're just getting around to the backlog now.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, this was actually a pretty awesome game from what I heard.
It was a fun one to watch. As you see, CapnRedBeard likes to play the priest, so he started off with his priest leading strong. And it looks like MrBubu brought his Anvil Throne Warlord to play.
Anvil, yeah, and actually, both of these players, now that I think about it, we've never actually seen them in a tournament before, so, we're seeing just a bunch of new stuff come out of this.
It's true.
Hopefully. Anyway, I mean, Mana Crystal Battleforge, that's new.
That's true. I guess that's not too far out of the box for that one. But just wait. He'll get,
No.
He'll get real weird with this one.
I mean, honestly, Mana Crystal Battleforge is one of the most, or Mana Flower, one of the best openings you can do, especially when you're a new player. We're seeing MrBubu was on the bottom right doing that too. Because it allows you to get that extra action, your economy goes up, it allows you to be safe in a lot of ways.
It's a very safe opening if you don't know how to play the mage, and even if you do. But to begin with a new mage, one of the best ways you can start is usually some kind of mana crystal or flower in the Battleforge, just to see how they start playing out for you.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look round 2, now both of them have 16 mana plus 1 in the Battleforge. This is a really efficient way to say, what am I going to do with my mana? And, if they decided to rush you, suddenly you have this extra action, and you have plenty of mana to counter it. It's very safe, and I dig this a lot from both players.
Yep, very safe, very, I guess safe and flexible is what I was going to go with, but yeah, same concept, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm guessing we're going to probably see some sort of buff ring, maybe out of Bubu. Probably see either leather pants, we could see also, or leather something. That's very common to see out of the first
Leather's
round.
very common to come early, especially.
Because you don't know what they're doing yet. You don't want to commit any big amount of mana to something that's going to be useless, so it's generally a good safe play.
And a piece of armor is always helpful.
Absolutely. And wow! Alright, we're seeing the elemental one come out of Bubu.
Yeah, he's going early.
That is really surprising, but all he has to do is move 1, and he's within 2 range. And the Enchantress Ring coming out for Redbeard.
That's right.
Interesting. So this really tells me that there's gonna be some sort of attack spell happen right now. It could be a Surging Wave, could be a Swell. Those would be great choices if you want to go and kill their Battleforge.
I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me to see a water spell at that forge.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not a fan of killing the Battleforge, but I totally understand why people love doing it. And it looks like he's gonna put on the the Mana Rune?
Yep, the Rune of Power. So he pays 1 less for it.
Such a good thing. So not only is he getting that elemental one, but he's also kind of getting more economy out of it, because every time he uses it, he kind of saves the mana.
Right. I think I back to your comment on the Battleforge. I think if you can take care of it right away, none of this over the course of 2 or 3 turns thing, it's a good idea. If you're going to take 2 or 3 turns to do it, I'm not so convinced unless it's more of like a win more at that point. Like you have a creature with piercing already attacking it or something like that. You know.
So why do you think that?
Because at some point they're still gaining mana and actions from it, and you're not really stopping them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They can, when your plan takes that long to happen, they have plenty of time to react and can plan for them to not have things. And generally, that means they can start countering what you're doing because it's pretty obvious what you're going to do next turn.
Oh, and the ballista coming out.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess we're not going to see that elemental one get used. Very interesting that he chose to use that. This sort of gives Redbeard a chance to counter it because he could move one and he gets initiative next round.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And Ballista coming out. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on the. I'll just talk about when they're planning next. So he is gonna move one closer.
Yep.
And
that's
I know.
interesting play.
This is why I love watching Redbeard play. That mana siphon. You don't ever see that anymore.
Right. It's really uncommon to run that particular spell, and in a lot of cases, some people argue it's because it's not any good. But I mean, I'll tell you what, you either have to deal with it or it catches you off guard enough to throw you off your game. Sometimes it works pretty dang well.
Absolutely. I mean, it costs 12 mana, and you get channel -2. So theoretically, you have to take it out in a good amount of time and not waste too much mana on it. Otherwise, it's just going to be a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you spend mana to kill the thing, you're down, I mean, a bunch of mana just from the channeling minus in the first place as well. So it gets really weird on whether it's worth it or not. Like, it depends on what you're trying to do. There's all kinds of variables that go into it, but it does throw your game off a little bit.
Absolutely. And, a lot of people used to run Force Hammer. Probably a bunch of people still do. But also the big thing people used to run is Mage Staff. Of course, we have an Anvil Throne here, so, probably not running one of those.
That's probably a good estimate, but you never know. I did run a Purge Magic in my Warlord for a long time.
Who wouldn't? But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that it's tough because if you use a Force Hammer, that's 9 mana, and you probably didn't react to it the first turn it came down, so you're already up to 11, and you spent the same amount of spellbook points, and you're not going to statistically kill it if I remember the stats in the card right. Maybe you do. I don't actually know.
I'd have to look it up again. I'm a little under-caffeinated for this, for that whole math thing.
It's all good. But yeah, going back to Battleforge comment, I absolutely agree with you. Like, if they're going to attack your Battleforge and the person goes, well, this just gives me extra time, and you're probably spending the same amount of mana and spellbook points to kill it, unless, of course, you have the wand.
Right.
Because usually Surging Wave is 2 spellbook points, 5 mana, and it generally adds up.
Yep. And, like I said, over the course of the turns, too, it's like the amount of time it takes to knock it down if you don't spike it can be detrimental to your strategy, because then they're either planning to punish you for it, or they're planning to move on the game without it anyway. And it's like, it doesn't have the same effect as it would as if it was just gone.
Yeah, and the fact that it gets off that extra equipment during deploy means that you're gonna get a use out of it. So it's not like a familiar where you plan a spell on it and then they're like, oh, kill it during quick cast and you lose this spell. It's not like that at all.
It doesn't work like that. Yeah, exactly.
So the Ballista coming out for Bubu. Ballista getting officially released now. We've seen a lot of it on previous Octagon tournaments, and it is a really good spell.
It is a fantastic spell, especially for the Warlords. I mean, it's War Mage only now, right? I actually like it as Paladin too. So
yeah, it's War Mage only, so Paladin can take it, and it's unique. So pretty much it's been the same rules that we've always played it by. That's kind of the for anyone that's watching this in the far, far future. There's just kind of an etiquette before it was officially released when it was a promo that you always ran it as unique, because if you ran it more than one, people would just kind of be like, I'm not playing this game.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. I mean, it was counterable, but it was one of those, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone kind of saw the unique and War Mage only coming.
Exactly.
I mean, it was kind of one of those, like, yeah, that's going to be like it is. So you might as well just play like it.
All right, and we'll see how CapnRedBeard wants to counter this elemental wand. I'm not sure if he's going to or not. Also, I'm curious what the Ballista's going to hit. Battleforge is it's an okay choice, but I don't know. Like, same thing with the Mana Siphon. I don't think he can get that much damage off.
I think at this point, his best option is to hit the Battle Forge. And I say that strictly because shooting anything else, the damage isn't going to be all that good. You're going to shoot the Mana Siphon, it's ethereal, or it's incorporeal, so you do damage on 1, so you can do a max of 5.
Absolutely.
You hit the Mage, he's a Holy Mage, it's not going to stick. You hit yourself, which is a bad target. I mean, you're running out of options here.
Yeah, honestly,
so,
any Holy Mage that's worth anything has at least 2 heals, like a minor heal or a heal, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think putting damage on a Holy Mage early like this would not be as useful. It's one of those, I'll advocate for the spike effect, where if you're going to deal with a Holy Mage like that without tainting the blood, poisoning the blood and stuff, then you need to spike them hard, fast. Yeah. Don't give this gradual damage over time, because they have easy ways to counter it, like in school, not spellbook.
Absolutely.
Spellbook point heavy, not mana heavy. I mean, they can deal with your damage if you don't stop them from dealing with it.
And it looks like we're going to see Resplendent Bow get cast out of Redbeard's Battleforge. This is one of the Priestess Academy cards that we haven't really seen in a tournament yet. It's a range 1 Holy Bow, and it's sweet. It combos with the Priest so well because it practically gives the Priest elusive in a weird way, because it's range 0/1 as a range attack.
Oh, that's an interesting way to think about it.
But it also buffs itself with the what is it, Dawnbreaker Ring? Yeah. Dawnbreaker
Ring's really nice for
so
that.
Not only is it good if you're like, I want to melee something, so I'll get 3 dice, or I'll shoot something with my bow, so I'll get 3 dice there. I don't know which one I want to do, but I'll figure it out.
One gets around guards, one doesn't.
Yep.
Another option, actually, in this case... Oh, there's Dawnbreaker Ring.
Dawnbreaker Ring. So he's planning on shooting something.
Another option that you have, though, Holy Mages in school for Holy Mages is now Metatron and Malachi's Basilica.
Ah, yes.
So Basilica adds 1 light to something, or light +1 to a thing in the arena in the upkeep phase, and Metatron gets stronger with more temples. So I mean, it's a lot of good synergy there.
It's a great combo, and with the piercing 1, so with the light ring, the Dawnbreaker Ring, the piercing 1, he's rolling 4 dice piercing 1 right now on that, and if he does any damage, he can burn them with the Priest's ability.
That's fine.
So I mean, you trade off the punch, and that has a dazed chance for that piercing 1 and the range. So it's a really nice little way to do that. And it looks like Bubu's going to enchant his Elemental Wand. Probably an Arcane Ward. Don't really know what else you'd want to put on that.
I'd bet money it's an Arcane Ward. Or, I don't know, some people like to run decoys, and I'm like, I would prefer an Arcane Ward in about 99% of the situations.
Yeah, if they can dispel it, but then you're just like, okay, well, my ward cost me 1.
Then you can't snipe other stuff.
It's a waste of smoke points, to go up my opinion on that, unless you're a Force Master. And it looks like Redbeard, he's going to reveal Hawkeye, so he gets 5 dice on that bow.
Yeah.
And he rolls 6 damage, and of course there is piercing 1, so that 6 damage does go through, because those pants do nothing.
And he's going to smite.
He's going to... He's going to smite, he does the burn, so 6 damage and a burn all in one little attack. That is what I'm talking about. This is a very impressive play. Curious if he should have attacked the Ballista or not first, but I don't think attacking the Mage was a bad choice here.
I agree. I think he can effectively... It looks like he's effectively going to ignore the Ballista then, because he's thinking the Ballista's going to shoot the Battleforge, and he's got time just to put some damage onto Bubu while he's, screwing around with his Battleforge.
And it looks like he's going to go after the Mana Siphon. Bubu's rolling that Arc Lightning, and he rolls average. He rolls 4 damage.
Brings out the Hawkeye as well, though, so that's an interesting...
Great move with that Hawkeye. That against Ethereal, you really want to buff those attack spells if you're going to go after it that way.
Yeah, agreed.
Because every dice really does count when you're rolling Ethereal.
And kind of like we predicted, the Ballista is going to go straight for the Battleforge.
Oh yeah, I'm at 13 minutes and 54 seconds. I'm not sure.
Oops, I accidentally clicked the forward button. Either way, I was right about it.
But
yeah, the future.
He attacks the Ballista, or the Ballista attacks the Battleforge. He's gonna get 5 damage? Yeah.
Yep, that's gonna go with 5.
And that's really close to dead.
It's unfortunate too, because it's super close to dead, but it's not quite.
Yeah, I mean, he got above average, so it's what you can hope for when you just roll that only.
Yep.
So
Without
what do you think about him, like, attacking 2 different targets at once.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I don't think it's great to attack the mana siphon with things that require mana. Not unless you can knock it out in one hit, and that's super difficult to do. When I go up against Tim or Redbeard playing his mana siphon, I tend to ignore it. I mean, I can still make do with channeling 8. While he's setting all this crap up, I'll just go beat him in the face with other things.
I mean, I guess theoretically, if you can win in 6 rounds, then it basically was a wash. You know what I mean? Or if you can get such a big advantage because he spent 12 mana that the 8 channel isn't really a big deal. Like, yeah, it's kind of another way to fight it.
That's kind of how I see it. And Bubu took a different approach, and he wants to get rid of that mana siphon for the longer game, I expect. But I know Redbeard, I know this is just bait for let him deal with the mana siphon. While he's doing that, I'll get into a position that he can't stop me when he's done.
Yeah, I mean, right now that bow is doing a ton. Like, it's in a really threatening position, and, you know, it's a full action to cast it, or to shoot it, but, you know, I don't think it really matters if there's always a target, especially something like a ballista right in the way. That sort of thing.
Now we're just waiting. I think I hit the wrong button again. Nope, we're good. What time are you at?
I'm at 16 minutes and 2 seconds.
Cool.
Now.
I'm like right there with you. So.
Cool. Yeah, they're still planning. I'm a little curious on the Enchantress Ring. We've seen 1 enchantment come out so far, and it's it's turn 3, so it's not that or 4. Is it 4?
It hasn't been super useful yet, but I believe that was probably a play that may have gotten adjusted. You go down one path and it's like, oh wait, nope, we need to go this way.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, let's see how he plays and then react to that.
On
a side note, MrBubu, that burn did 2 damage.
Good point.
So that burn is already paying for itself, and any more damage it does suddenly becomes really good value for the priest.
Yeah, anytime you can pay 1 mana to do 2 damage, it's a good day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has potential to do more, so.
Yeah, I love the priest burn, man. It is such a fun move.
It is a really fun one to do.
And it looks like Bubu's going to be taking his time on planning. I don't blame him, because this is actually a really tricky situation. Do you go after the Battle Forge and try to kill it this round, or do you kill the mana siphon? I don't think going after the priest would be the smartest choice.
At this point, I think he's committed to knocking down the conjurations, and I think he should stick with it, because shifting gears midway through what you're doing here is, I would say, handing the game over.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Even if it ends up being the bad play, I think it'd be a worse play to stop doing what you're doing. In this case, just because you've got some decent damage on the siphon, the Forge will die next hit it takes, probably.
Oh, man. And the Gloves of Skill coming out for Bubu.
Right.
Very, very smart choice. And the priest casting a Sunfire Amulet. A turn 3 or 4 Sunfire Amulet, I think, has a lot of potential. You're not getting quite the economy you want, but it's sort of like one of those, like, do you really want to waste a Dissolve when I'm right in your face? Right.
It also, like you said, turn 3 or 4 is interesting, because at that point you have a little bit of other stuff out there to be like, oh, hey, look, you can go ahead and dissolve the amulet, or you can dissolve the important stuff.
Yeah, and if he gets 5 or 6 life out of it before it's even dissolved,
oh yeah,
that's suddenly worth it in so many ways.
Yep.
Looks like we're gonna see another Arc Lightning come out of Bubu, and
but he's gonna reroll that. I'll bet he'll reroll that.
I don't know if I would reroll that.
I think he's trying to go for broke on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this can really bite you sometimes. Sometimes it's worth it though. Like when you roll average. I don't know, man.
I agree with you, but I think he's going for broke on getting it down.
Okay, yeah. You know what?
And I can't say I blame him for that one, because,
I almost want to say that just punching it would be the better option.
Yeah.
In this case, but I don't blame him for doing this, because you're trying to get for a higher thing. Like, if you rolled 3, I would have said do it immediately, but 4, ugh.
Yeah.
And here, let's see what happens. And it does pay off for him. Awesome move there, so his channel is going to go back up.
Yep, that reroll was pretty clutch there.
Sometimes you just got to risk it.
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
I'm also just realizing that Mana Siphon is spelled wrong in the chat, so I have to go back through and...
That's old. That is an old card that's been like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, interesting.
All right, so suddenly Bubu just is in a sudden like better position. I wouldn't say that he's like winning necessarily, but destroying that mana siphon. Let's see, it costs him what 10 mana, and it's been 2 rounds, so he's a little bit behind on the trade there.
And the actions, honestly, I think they probably played out about as well as it could have for him. It could have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
Had he not been able to reroll that one with the 1 damage left on the siphon, it would have been...
I could see that.
Yeah, it would have been real bad. I mean, you could go punch it and hope to roll a 1. You could. I mean, there's all kinds of fun scenarios to rabbit hole down, but I mean, if that thing had stuck around for another turn, it would have been...
he's going to guard.
Yeah.
That is an interesting move. So Bubu guards up there. Probably
because
he doesn't want to
have
get
any
shot.
mana.
I'm guessing he doesn't want to get shot. And
Yep.
Man, I don't know if that's a good move or not.
By Bubu?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when he doesn't have any mana left. He had to use it all to get the to knock down the siphon.
So basically, he doesn't want to get shot, which I understand that. Because because if he double moves or moves 1, wow, that rolled a lot of damage. Then that would be the problem. I mean, he would have just taken 7 damage. Instead, his ballista took 6.
He could have been in a much worse position. I think guarding was actually the right call there. Like, looking back on it, with the advantage of hindsight, it was the right call.
Yeah, no kidding. It's just, I guess my problem with that is that I guess he's not going to have initiative next round, is he? You know what? Yeah, that was probably just a good choice.
Yep, I think it turned out to be a very good choice for him. Although, that being said, the roll against the ballista was pretty nice for...
it was pretty ridiculous.
For Redbeard there, because I have a feeling that thing won't last very long. Though he will...
And he chose not to burn it.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Oh, wait,
I think you can only burn creatures now that I think about it.
You can only burn creatures, that's right.
And the burn does 2 more.
Dude, that burn is getting so much value.
1 mana for 4 damage at this point, effectively.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm at 21 minutes and 45 seconds in 2 seconds right now.
I clicked the wrong button again.
Somehow so yeah, 1 bow attack, and suddenly it did 10 damage. And all he had to spend was 1 extra mana. I really respect this priest right here. This priest really goes... I'm not going to listen to what everyone says about the priest not being good. Let me figure out how to make him work. And right now, he's looking at 17 mana, a Battleforge that has 1, and suddenly he's in a great position where he's in the center and he sort of controls what's happening right in front of him.
I agree. He's in a good position.
Yeah, so Hawkeye, Dawnbreaker Ring, and that bow. Sweet combo.
I agree.
Really digging it.
Just in general, I think the priest gets knocked on a lot for not being as good at defensive play as the priestess, which everyone assumes means the priest is bad, and I don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, I mean, if it was the priestess, theoretically you could do the same thing, except that burn wouldn't be there. That's 4 damage that would be out.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the burn is a pretty big deal here. I mean, he's not using the Holy Avenger at the moment.
He's saving his mana for. I'm curious if he's going to cast a higher level creature and Holy Avenger that. But honestly, I don't think he even needs to cast a creature right now. He's just kind of controlling it by himself.
Yep, he's in a good spot right now. Some of that's game flow, some of that's maybe what the plan was. It just depends on kind of what happens here, I think. This is an interesting turn, because if the Ballista does go down, I'm wondering what Bubu does to respond, because you're right, he's at a 6 mana disadvantage right now. He's also at a significant equipment disadvantage. He's also at a life disadvantage. He's also at a damage disadvantage. It's starting to add up now.
Yeah, and that Ballista is kind of the big hit. A lot of mana is devoted in there, and it's probably not going to get another shot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You may not.
Generally, when you cast Ballista, you want to cast it on their initiative at the end of the round, so that you always get the shot first, because otherwise that gives them 1 extra action to destroy it.
Yeah. The other thing to think about here is the wand. That was a first turn play that's also had a lot of investment in it with the rune and the potentially arcane ward or decoy, or whatever you want to call it. Has had some decent investment without actually being used yet.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious what's on that, because he has the Hawkeye, he has the Gloves of Skill, so he has the ability to do whatever he wants with that thing. But what that thing is going to be.
If I'm currently the priest, I'm thinking it's probably a rock.
I was thinking rock.
because a lot of warlords like to do that. Not that it's a bad play because everyone likes to do it, but it's a fantastic play. Everyone likes to do that because you can get potentially 3 mana rocks.
Yes, 3 mana rocks, and then you get the +1 because of Hawkeye and the reroll.
Right.
So suddenly you're looking at 6 dice.
6 dice with a reroll for 3 mana. Hello,
sweet.
efficiency.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another choice that I'm kind of curious about is it could possibly also be an acid ball. And the reason why I say that is because you saw Battleforge come out. It would make sense to be like, all right, when he brings out the armor, I'll just immediately take it out, and then the acid ball wand will make him not want to cast another one. It's maybe a stretch there, but that would be my other thinking in that.
It's an interesting way to do it. I don't know that I would do it personally myself that way, but yeah.
That's fair. If it's a surging wave, I think you should cast it. If CapnRedBeard decides not to quick cast to kill the ballista, because if you get that daze or the slam on that priest, then there's a chance he'll miss the ballista, which means the ballista can shoot. It might be like an all or nothing kind of thing, but Oh, Helm of Justice.
This is interesting. Yeah, we get the boots on the one side and the Helm of Justice on the other.
First PVS card actually we've seen. This has all been before PVS Priest, and Helm of Justice is a really cool card. I dig it a lot.
We'll see how it plays out. I don't know. Maybe that's like a future-proofing kind of thing because there aren't too many non-mage creature.
He doesn't have any mage. Yeah, I mean, he has no non-mage, so it's just kind of out there. I think maybe he didn't want his Battleforge to die, but he wanted his mana for something, so he's like... Or if his Battleforge did die, he didn't want it to be like a wasted mana, so he just kind of plopped that out there.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, like I said, it could be future-proofing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting. Quick cast onto the ballista. I'm trying to think what that could be at this point, because I haven't. It's been a while since we
it could be a reinforced.
Watch this game.
Reinforced.
Reinforced. That's right. It's a promo.
It's a promo card that we don't really see a lot, but and the Seeking Dispel. Really cool
ready for
play.
It. Okay.
Captain just calling it out, being like, if you cast any enchantment, bam. And that's
right.
Seeking Dispel is one of those cards you just put in your hand if you don't know what to put. And oftentimes with the Battleforge, you have your 2 casts, and you're like, then I'll be out of mana, but I'll put this just in case, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it did end up being a reinforced. That was I don't want to call it like a telegraphed play by Bubu because it was a good play, but Redbeard just read it.
It looks like Redbeard's gonna roll 5 dice, and he gets one damage out of it. Sometimes that happens.
It does.
He rolled a really good roll last time, and I think it probably just evened out.
Yeah, that's the universe saying, no, you cannot always roll bad or roll well. I know we have a thing, and whenever I go up to play with the Mansfield guys, there's a thing called a Tim roll, and it's because he rolls crits all the freaking time.
Hey, he plays Priest, man. Priest rolls crits. That's one of the,
I know, right?
the hidden abilities.
We're the clerics right now.
So it looks like Bubu's going to get the extra shot off the ballista, so that's really nice.
That is good. And it could have been worse. He ends up killing the Battleforge, but I mean, since he started attacking that Battleforge, we've seen bow, pants, and a helmet. And I think maybe the amulet came out. I don't remember exactly.
The amulet came out as well.
At least 3 of those came out from that. So I'm not convinced that losing the Battleforge at this point is bad for the priest. I think it did what he needed it to do.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I mean, Redbeard's looking at 14 mana right now.
Yeah, he'll be at 24 next round.
And 0 damage, and he's gaining life every time. And it looks like that Hawkeye's going to dispel. I think that's a pretty smart move.
I don't know, man. That's an interesting move here. I thinking about it, that's a 3 spellbook point spell for the Warlord that could have...
Oh, interesting. You're right.
Effectively had the same effect if he had just... Or not, you know what I mean? He could have done pretty close to the same thing by casting a Heartforged Plate.
Yeah, also, taking out the bow or taking out the Dawnbreaker ring is also another interesting maneuver. The ring is really nice to take out because it can give you +2 in a round.
And Dissolve is cheaper spellbook-wise, and I guess it'd be roughly the same. It was a cheap mana spell, so I mean, it does do a job. I just feel like the Warlord has better options to dissolve or to use dispels upon. It's like
I could definitely see that.
I would personally do it, but I mean, maybe it'll work for him.
He also didn't need to move one closer. If I were Captain right now, I would be thinking something's going to get dissolved next round because you don't move closer like that to get in range of that bow without saying, I need to do something against me.
That may be true, and for what it's worth, I'm not sure he could stop it. He didn't have a Nullify on him, for sure. he doesn't have initiative. It'll be going over to Bubu. So if something's getting dissolved, he can't stop it.
I would probably choose the bow because it's cheap and it's adding a ton of damage. If Granny's probably just going to punch you in the face then, or
Yeah,
cast
damage
a
and flexibility. But I mean, yeah, I expect a creature to be cast here, and if the bow goes down, you cast Bear Strength and walk in.
Yeah, exactly. That's
what the priest does.
Totally what I would do. You know, you don't even need Staff of Sierra because honestly, it's kind of overpriced in my opinion.
That's
but,
true.
You know,
the daze chance is really nice, though.
You're right. It's a 5-up daze versus a 9-up if you're just punching. So there is that. It's just 9 mana. I've just always had a problem with that mana cost.
Yeah,
but I can understand that.
I can understand. He's also sitting on 24, so
agreed.
He's done a good job managing his mana and being ready at this point to. I don't want to say win, but eliminate. He's in a flexible position. He can eliminate pretty close to anything that shows up.
I mean, at this point in time,
react very well because he's also got he's got 36 life now. It's just going to keep going up unless he gets that
absolutely
dealt with. And if he does, it means he's not dealing with the fact that he's only, he's a fairly naked warlord who's about to take another decent. I mean, there's a lot of interesting options here that you can start gaming the other guy because you have an idea of what they're going to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a higher level creature come out. Like, this is the time that you can cast, like, a Knight of Westlock, a Holy Avenger. Just because if you don't have, a way to summon a lot of creatures quickly, you want to cast those higher level dudes. And I think that's what CapnRedBeard is in situational-wise. As an alternative, a Brogan or an Allendale, I think, would be solid choices as well.
I think I'm a bigger fan of the Westlock. Well, I don't know. Actually, I think about maybe Allendale would be my favorite cast of that bunch, just because Allendale's a boss.
Yeah.
And
he
would cost roughly the same as a Westlock Holy Avenger.
Yeah. It's about the same. Holy Avenger, I think, costs a little bit more, if I remember right.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have to pay the 4 each turn. I mean, it's give and take, but at this point, Allendale would be win hard, because he's a boss.
Yeah, and honestly, it's one of those things that Brogan you probably don't want to bring out here because you have one target. The Ballista's just going to go down very quickly. And you probably don't need that piercing because you probably have, when you're just fighting a mage, you don't want Brogan because you can just remove his armor through normal means like Roust, Acid Ball, Dissolve. You really want Brogan in those situations where, you want to take out Deathlock or Altar of Infernia, things like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like Brogan a lot.
I know, I've seen you use Brogan to good effect. And here's the Harshforged Plate that I was talking about earlier. I think that would have been a good cast last round instead of the Dispel, personally.
I could see that.
That being said, he does put the Rune of Fortification on the Harshforge, and this is my favorite play of the bunch. I see a lot of people put that rune onto leather or something.
Yep.
And the reason I don't like that play is because the leather something is still cheap enough to just dissolve or explode or whatever that you're going to lose the rune in the process. At least make them pay heavily for a Harshforged Plate.
I mean, it's 4 mana to dissolve a leather thing, and so it's like, well, 1 leather's worth 1 armor. You basically have 2 leathers packed into 1. I'll just take care of them both.
Right, and if you have the Harshforged Plate out there, it's only 6. 6 is not a great amount of armor or mana to pay to dissolve something like that, or explode is only 12. I mean, they're all relatively cheap, and I think I would take almost every time I would do that. Interesting. Surging Wave.
Surging Wave on the... I guess he only needs, 1 crit, I think, so...
He only needs 1 crit, but he got a Tim roll anyway.
That Surging Wave just, went in every single little piece and just exploded. And that bliss is gone. So anyway, so pretty much everyone's taken on each other's pieces except the Battleforge is still on MrBubu's side. So that's kind of an interesting thing there. He can sort of gain that mana or action advantage, kind of. And we're going to see a crumble come out against the bow. Huh.
That's a full action spell.
I mean, I don't think Redbeard cares. He's probably just going to cast a creature.
I tend to agree. I think it's a too little, too late move there.
Yeah,
and there's an Assyrian Defender. It's one of your favorite ones.
Assyrian Defender. I love.
I'm gonna bet it's a Holy Avenger here in a second. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, no, Assyrian Defender is one of those things that if you make him a Holy Avenger, he kind of becomes like a Knight of Westlock.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Except you save a spellbook point. And that's kind of the big thing that I like about him. I used to run 4 of them in a book, and I put Bear Strengths on them, and then I run Temple Dawnbreakers, and so you just always reroll the defenses. And,
they're surprisingly good. I mean, they're not like one of those that jumps out at you like, oh my god, this is a great creature. It's one of those that's like sneaky good.
They're level 2s, you know? Yeah. They're just like, they're cool level 2 holy creatures. And,
they are sneaky good.
You know, as I said, I used to put Bear Strength on it, and a Holy Avenger, Bear Strength dude suddenly is rolling 7 dice, piercing 1, and they're like, that just...
Assuming you can trigger it, but even if you can't, you're making them play around the trigger.
Yeah, and if they choose to go after it, for the kind of mana you spent on it, honestly, the 2 armor and the 8 or 9
and his buddies will get him.
Exactly. You know, it's a really solid choice, and they're tough to kill.
Let's see. Yeah, I think the crumble was the wrong move, personally. I mean, everybody likes to save mana, but if you're not going to use the mana, what's the point of saving it? I think a dissolve would have been better there, along with... Well, I mean, if you're going to crumble at that point, throw a rock. Do something else, you know?
Yeah, you know, I honestly probably would have crumbled the Sunfire, because you're at kind of a stalemate right now, so you might as well start destroying their economy more.
Yeah, I guess
that's essentially what Sunfire is.
Yeah, so one school of thought here, though, I'm looking at it, he does have quite a bit of armor on, so he's thinking he can undo enough of what the priest has done to let the armor keep him in the game. It's also I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but if he is, it's an interesting play that I have not seen work well. I think at this point he's still playing from behind, action advantage wise, and the undoing game is just more of a win more is the way I would see it, as opposed to a way, especially for the warlord.
It guarantees your win, is what you're saying.
In the warlord's case, I think he's better off being more, I wouldn't call it aggressive even, but just force them onto your terms, because he doesn't play the undoing game that well. Yeah,
I would agree with that. Not having a dissolve, or not having a dispel in school. I guess you have remove, curse, and purify, but that's super defensive.
It's really defensive, yeah. And there's currently no curses there. It's just the way I would have played it differently.
So I guess
I would probably cast out a big creature and go smack something with him.
So if this game is going to go longer than 4 rounds, hear me out on this. If he chose to crumble the Sunfire, that would have essentially saved 4 damage coming out. If it goes longer than 4 rounds, suddenly it's dealing, more and more damage in that sense. Just because Sunfire Amulet is something where you're not taking damage, or you're not like healing damage, but you're basically gaining the ability to take more damage. And,
you're getting
so you can look at it as a mitigation in that sense.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at that.
So I think if he was going to crumble, what I'm saying is, I think Sunfire. That's what I'm saying.
That's true. Yeah, I can respect that. I understand the reasoning behind the bow there as well. Yeah, I just think that the bow, by this point, he's got enough other options that the bow wasn't the hinge of the plan. The bow was the nice to have versus the Sunfire. I think would keep you into the game more.
Tanglevine. We're seeing a lot of stuff that the meta sort of was rotating around. Back in 2014. And that is Tanglevines, Mana Siphons. Those are the sorts of things that players started taking a lot of teleports for, Force Hammers, Mage Staffs, and, since the meta's kind of shifted from them, this is actually a really good strategy.
Mm-hmm. We're starting to see a little bit more, I like to call it movement restriction, because it's not just the Tanglevines coming out. I'm seeing, Enfeeble has been there, I guess, for a while, but the new grapplers are helping a lot.
Oh,
in terms of controlling where the other mage goes, or making sure they don't go anywhere, or making them use their teleports. There's a lot of things you can do with those kind of creatures and conjurations in this case.
Yeah, and especially when you use cards like Chant of Rage, and then you rage a grappler so they just walk right into it. Such a nice way to sort of influence the board in that way.
Agreed.
And Pillar of Righteous Flame.
I'm rather interested to see why he moved in as opposed to
Huh.
staying back by 1.
Yeah, because now he's in range.
Because he
of that-
tangle bind him.
yeah.
You know, he
What's
tangle
the
binds
point
him,
of
he
that?
moves in next
Yeah.
to him, yeah.
Maybe he really wants Boo
Then
Boo to
again,
hit the
he got a
priest.
Tim roll with the thing. He freaking did 4 critical right through.
4 critical. Yeah,
I mean,
maybe he really wants to goad MrBubu into attacking the priest so that he can get the Holy Avenger off.
oh, yeah. This is a priest. It's the Holy Avenger trigger. Okay. Yeah, it's probably bait.
Which
That
this
makes
would be
sense.
exactly how you're supposed to use a priest. You know, you wouldn't see a priestess doing this because it's not the same mage. They play very differently in this way.
I'm personally a fan in this case if he had cast Radiant Breastplate on himself, moved in, done the full effect, then cast 2 mana to put himself on guard.
That would have been really cool as well.
If you could find a way to do that, because then he's getting hit, he's triggering the thing.
Mhm.
Well, I guess he's casting a Panther Guard, but yeah.
Okay, so the Panzer comes out. That was a really smart choice. He needs to find a way to get out of that zone because Pillar Register's Flame will mess you up.
Pillar of Righteous Flame's amazing.
It's a great card, and honestly, you can get out of the way. You can just let it go for a while, but like, it has a lot of utility, and it very rarely doesn't pay for itself.
Agreed. It's very nice. In fact, it is so nice that I would tend to think it'd go well in a dark book if you can build around it. I would probably not do it, or I haven't done it yet, but I wouldn't necessarily rule it out as a holy spell.
I mean, the Siren book, it's classic.
Yeah, it's great.
A Force Master, since isn't Chanter Rage, is that Mind and
Dark? Yep.
So I mean, for a Force Master, you do Pillar, you do Chanter Rage, and you're like, just keep coming in the zone, and then I'll keep pulling you out.
Yeah,
You know, sort
or
of
push
thing.
him out or something.
Pushing
Or,
you
yeah,
in,
with
you know.
a Siren, you have so many ways to push and pull things
Oh,
that you
yeah.
can just mess with them.
And Pillar Register Flame just doing a ton of work.
Yeah, I love the art on that thing too.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm still a little bit bitter about not doing fire damage, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's a little odd. It's called Righteous Flame.
Oh yes, that makes it less flamey, right? Makes it light.
I
instead.
guess I'll just be dazed. Flame.
Yeah, it's made of less flame. It's more righteous than flame. Yeah, I'm just messing with people. It's okay.
So the priest going up to 38 max life. Still no damage, and looks like that.
I gotta think that it's been worth it, even if it goes away by now.
Mm-hmm. And Boo Boo's mage being at 14 damage out of 34. He only needs to get 20 left to kill him.
God, he's rolling pretty well with that. I mean,
and he's getting those crits.
2 more crits.
Yeah.
It seems like not much, but when you're looking at 4 armor, that's actually, or
5.
excuse me, 5
Yeah.
armor. It's not actually a bad amount of damage for that.
I mean, 5 armor is.
I believe it's right on the average, isn't it? Because it'd be roughly 2.
Well, I mean, you should get 1 blank, 1 normal, 1 crit, and then something. So 1 or 2 should be average. And he got a daze. That's the most important thing right here.
Yep.
He's
got it. Yeah,
yeah.
he's tough. I do love that about the Dwarf Warlord. Actually, is him being tough is. I would say it's an underrated trait.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
It is a
Daze can literally shift an entire game in one
That's true.
turn.
Yep, and having a smaller chance to do it.
If you just are consistently, Slam is probably, or Surging Wave is probably the most common way you get dazes. But with the Priest, obviously you have a lot of things at your disposal. But, if you're in a clutch state where you can't kill them and they're about to kill you, and so you just go, I will daze you and hope for the best. And if it works out, they could end up blowing all their mana.
Yeah, that's a good way. I mean, it is really good.
Boo was saying tough -2 has been useless since before. BBS.
I disagree. It just
that
has
is
been
not true at all.
underutilized.
I one time, I believe on a recorded match somewhere, definitely tried to Dark Fiend Asp Rush a Warlord, and it just failed miserably. I think I did 8 attacks.
I was gonna say, I think you did that to me, didn't you?
No, I think it was against Drayfan, but it was probably against you.
Oh.
I think I did it a few times.
We may have done it. Yeah, we may have had our own game like that, but
But no,
was it against Drayfan Swagger Lord?
Yeah, something like that. I did something like 3 Dark Fiend Asps, and I did 2 Badger Friendlies, and all of them didn't get a week, and I was just like, lame. Never doing that again. That's why the Anvil's so good. Because, I mean, it essentially makes the Priest Daze Punch kind of more mute here. Moot.
I think Moot's the right one.
Yeah, I said mute. Yeah, Bubu's taking his time to decide. I don't blame him, because this is actually a really rough time for planning. I mean, basically, Redbeard has more mana, has a good amount of damage on him to Bubu. Well,
I would say
Bubu
more flexibility
has,
even.
Yeah, I mean, Bubu has the
Bubu's got
Battleforge.
the armor going for him and the Battleforge.
Yeah,
though.
he has the Battleforge, and right now would be the perfect time to start healing, honestly.
Yeah.
Because,
healing is one option. I think a regrowth belt here would do wonders.
Oh, because you have the yeah.
I also think that he needs either another creature or some way to start throwing some dice, because he's not, and he's not going to catch up if he doesn't start throwing dice.
Mm-hmm. He's playing that huge defensive game. He might need a teleport right now, but I don't think he would pack one.
I
Like,
mean,
going after the Tanglevine is probably not a good choice.
I think the Tanglevine you can effectively ignore, because you're going to be in that zone, you're going to be fighting in the same zone, and if you leave, he's going to put you right back into it, because that's what people do with Pillar of Flame.
Exactly.
I think throwing more dice and finding a way to mitigate the dice thrown at you is the best strategy right now. And I don't know how he does it easily, but he does have a wand with a power rune on it, and I think that needs to be used right now.
That has not been used. Oh, it's been
Absolutely
there since turn 2.
Yeah, and use the Panzer Guard as your defense. Like, speaking of regrowth belts, there's one.
That's a smart choice. I mean, regrowth belt,
very smart choice.
I mean, it's 6 mana.
And it combos great with Harshforge.
Yeah, and you're guaranteed that heal. You know, if you just survive 3 rounds, it's worth more than healing itself.
Actually, he hasn't used his cantrip rune. He could put it right back on there and dissolve. Prevent the dissolve or whatever.
That would be a good choice as well. Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to, but that'd be what I would do. And use the Panzer Guard as a big giant shield, because that's what he is. It's a big meat shield with a shield also. So
yeah, he's meant to tank. He's like Guardian Angel, but for War School. And there's the Acid Ball. We're going to see Redbeard trying to sort of whittle down that armor, I think, to really make sure that he can get those
12. I was about to comment on the tough -2 coming in handy here, possibly, but when he rolls a 12, nothing comes in handy.
Yeah, right. And so that's going to put Bubu's armor down to 3.
I mean, that's still a good amount of armor.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, with Redbeard having 9 mana left, he can't take out that Harshforge plate this round.
Yeah. I think
if
I was him, I would punch him.
Is it 8 or 9?
8 for the plate itself, and if you... I guess you can crumble... No, you can't crumble it because you need the 2 extra in the beginning.
Yeah, he would need some sort of...
No, it would bypass it. He'd have 8. He could technically crumble it.
But there's a rune on it.
Oh, crap. Yeah. Sorry, forgot that one. Yep, you're right.
So, yeah, he can't do that, but, that's something to think about for next round, because crumbling Harshforge plate is, like, what you're supposed to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a great way to deal with it.
It's a great way to do it. And if they put a cantripper in it, you're just like, fine, I don't care.
Yeah,
just
right.
cast it again.
Just do it again. And we got a Noble Vanguard hitting the field. This is what I mean by throwing more dice onto the field so you can throw more dice.
I mean, this is exactly what Redbeard needs to do. He just needs to get a ton of creatures out and just say, like, constant damage, constant damage, constant damage.
At this point, yes, I would consider this a press the advantage moment. And he's got the advantage, he's pressing it. Whether he's doing the damage directly right now or he's building up so that he can do more and overwhelm the defenses, both are the right call. I don't... Ooh, guard, interesting. Oh, well, maybe not. We'll see.
There was a guard on the Panzer Guard. And now it's Bubu's turn. He's going to cast a Morning Star.
Oh, maybe he is going to smack something.
He's dazed.
Dude, I think it's worth it anyway.
I mean, is he trying to kill the Holy Avenger?
That's what I would probably do myself right now. Smack it.
It's better than taking the 5 dice piercing one.
Right, and you gotta start. You gotta eliminate these things. I mean, you gotta start knocking them down. He's also got a meat shield, so if the Avenger wanted to attack back, he's not gonna get to hit the dwarf.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Well, he's not gonna hit the mage dwarf. He's gonna hit the other one.
And he just misses. And this is why Daze is so good.
Yeah, this is an example of it.
I mean, Redbeard has the advantage. He dazes him, and then suddenly, he has more of an advantage. That's just a wasted action.
That being said, I still think it's a good play. It was a good play to cast the star and to try to swing with it.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing about Daze is if you've already planned and you're like, I'm committed to this, like you might as well try if you don't have anything better to do.
Yeah, I think it was the right play because it does set him up for future turns, and he also needs to remove the Daze. I don't know if we told him that, but
I mean, arguably,
he'll be back up to 12 mana. I still think getting rid of the At this point, honestly, getting rid of the Sunfire may be on the back burner, because if you can get control of the game, it doesn't matter how much life they have.
That's essentially where we're at now.
Yeah. I think he wants to throw rocks and
if,
smack things with his mace. Or
if he doesn't take out the creatures right now, he's just going to lose, because he won't win that race. Taking out the Sunfire is just a way of dealing damage in that sense, or preventing life. So going after the mage only, he's going to lose that race. Just straight up.
I agree. So I think just leaving the Sunfire Amulet alone is actually the better play.
In this case, yeah.
Yes.
I think when he dissolved the bow, or crumbled it, he should have gone after the amulet.
Yeah, although in this case, I mean, it's looking like, the way this game has gone down this branch, I would definitely focus down the Assyrian Defender.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Kill him dead. Get him out. Do not let him sit there do his damage, because at some point then, Redbeard will have to cast another one, or start swinging more dice somehow, you know. And with the meat shield of the Panzerguard in the way, it's to say it's a good spot to be in to have a comeback.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, defenses work on both sides. All right, so in here, actually, they need to get rid of the days eventually. Still, I don't know if we told them to do that, but here the Pillar of Flame's going to do some damage, but the regen will help out mitigate some of that because of the amount of armor that he still got. He still has 3 armor, so statistically speaking, he's going to do 2 to 3 damage from the Pillar of Flame, and the regrowth belt actually mitigates a lot of that, or should.
So there was an interesting tactical play there that if Redbeard or any aspiring priest was listening, there was a little... he chose to attack the Panzerguard. I think that was actually the wrong choice. And the reason why is because when you have a Holy Avenger, you want to make sure he activates. And when someone guards, that's your best chance. Because if you manage to attack them, and then they go, the next round, let's just say, they pop their guard, they counterattack, suddenly you're in control of what got attacked, and your Holy Avenger has popped as well. That's one of those like really neat things you can do when you see someone start guarding.
That is a good little nuance there.
Make sure you can get that activation. Yep. So if he guarded with his Holy Avenger, this round he could have, with his initiative, attacked into that guard, and then suddenly his Holy Avenger would be dealing more damage, and he might have used that defense to get rid of, or to jump in the way of the Vanguard and defend.
Yep, there's a lot of interesting tactical choices there. Actually, that's a good point, because he could attack with the Vanguard himself into the Panzerguard, and then go back right back on guard with the noble Vanguard there.
Just an interesting little tactical play for anyone that loves the priest, because I love how the Holy Avenger works, and it's a really cool way to kill guards.
Yep, it's a good guard breaker, and then like you were saying at that point, it automatically would make it so that he has a trigger for the defender who gets 5 dice piercing 1 at that point.
Yep. so cool.
For future reference, those who might play priest,
try that out. Love it when they guard, man. Love it when they guard.
It's one of those, like, I like how reverse attack a guard breaker. I do the same thing, except I'll put a reverse attack on him and attack into a guard.
Oh yeah, reverse attack is a great choice too.
I one-rounded a troll because the troll rolled like 11 freaking damage or something.
If you see they're running bears and stuff, oh man, if they're gonna, I don't know if they're gonna guard with the bear, but if they ever do guard with the bear, suddenly you're just like,
all right, here you go. Have your attack back.
Yeah, the bridge troll is probably one of the best choices.
Yeah.
All right, and looks like, did we get another days off that roll? I didn't actually see. Yes, we did. So I mean, with the Regen 2, we're looking at 16 damage on him, 3 armor, and the Vanguard's gonna try to attack him. He didn't do any damage, unfortunately, and this is why armor is so good, because you just roll a bunch of dice and it made you do nothing.
True. I think finding ways to add some piercing there would have been good, like what's it spelled? Critical Strike in Lost Grimoire would be a nice addition to either of these two creatures, because then you basically bypass any of the armor left.
Absolutely. I would love to see some sort of rust. Or probably not rust, probably acid ball or crumble come down.
Yeah, I'd expect it. Well, I mean, rust might. It's not like it's a dark spell.
Yeah, it's an extra 2. I mean, it's an extra 2 spell mana to cast it on, but I don't think that's necessarily the biggest deal for Redbeard. Oh, and he's gonna force push him out of the way.
Ooh,
that's
one way to do it. Bait him into guarding. Yeah.
So if he wants to come back, he's going to take a hit, but he's already guarding, so he's not going to be able to defend his.
He can't do it this turn
Warlord
for
this
sure.
round.
Yeah. And the Warlord took another daze from the Pillar of Flame, so
Yeah, that pillar's paying off, man.
the Pillar's absolute. I have not seen it not pay off.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw one game where it did like 20 something dice or something crazy like that.
Oh yeah, it's rather insane.
It's insane.
I mean, it's cool. It's a good spell. It's not one of those I think is really broken or anything, but it's a cool spell.
And it looks like we're going to see the holy attack spell, the holy rock, if you will, Luminous Blast.
Mm-hmm.
And
Holy rock.
What?
Well,
Let's
hello, 5 critical.
5 critical damage.
I think he still gets a daze, right? Because it stays on a 4. Yeah, there it is.
And I bet he's going to burn. And he pays 1 to burn. And that was a good choice. I don't know if he should have waited till after his Warlord used his action or not, but I don't really care because I think the Pillar's going to daze him again anyway. There we go.
Right, yeah. Oh.
He is going to go after the Sunfire, so he's going to crumble it.
He's going to crumble the Sunfire. Man, I'm telling you, I think
he
cast...
Well, attacking the mage is not a good choice right now, and he just attacked the mage. That's how I see it.
I think getting rid of one of the creatures is a necessary thing to do, and I don't think you do it by crumbling a thing that is not necessary.
I agree with that. And
so,
2 damage goes on to the...
throwing a rock at the Vanguard and smacking it, I mean, attempting to smack him, you are going to have a daze chance. I get that, but you should take it.
Well, I mean, what you do is you attack with your main attack, and then your daze goes away, and then you quick cast.
And then you throw the rock, exactly.
I guess that should be how he's trying to counter it. That's usually how you deal with daze.
That's how I would do it.
And it looks like another Ballista, and
I'm not sure how much this buys you. It's a cool play because I like Ballista, but I think
it's like casting a creature right now.
He does have initiative next turn. He will get to use it. So 8 mana for 5 dice, piercing 3 is still pretty good if you can apply it to something relevant. Like if you spike down the Noble Vanguard, it might work.
Yeah, okay, I could see that. Definitely going after the Vanguard is a good idea.
I think you're running out of options though, because you're also running out of life. He's at 23 out of 34 at this point, and he's going to regen too. Yeah, but he's also going to take another pillar hit.
And did we see the pillar get hit yet?
He hasn't done it. He has to re-add it. The burn's doing work.
The burn did 2 damage, dude. I love the priest burn. It is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously what you want to do, obviously, is with the pillar, you attack with it first and then remove a dissipate token. Because it's your choice, so you want to get the most attacks out of it, so there you go.
Mm-hmm. And now we're just waiting for the planning. I'm sure it's probably not an easy planning phase at this point.
Well, CapnRedBeard has 11 mana. And he's dealing against someone with 3 armor. I think he should just try and take care of the armor and just focus him down.
Yeah, his planning actually will be really easy, I think.
Yeah.
It's the Warlord that's the tougher one, I guess.
I mean, the Warlord is looking at 10 mana. You could heal... bring that Panzer Guard back in. I mean, at this point in time, it's really tough to make a comeback, because if you go after the creatures, you're going to be taking damage, and that's just going to kind of ensure next round, when it's CapnRedBeard's initiative, that you might just die.
I still think spiking creatures down is the best option.
Yeah,
with, the mage combined with the ballista, and then use your big shield to get in the way. And if he wants to force push him out of the way, that's fine. He's going to run out of those eventually.
Yeah, and I suppose if he heals, he's just kind of delaying what's gonna happen.
I don't think healing. I don't think buys him all that much.
Maybe a minor heal, a hero rock, and then ballista shot. I think that's what he should do.
That'd be an interesting. As long as you're throwing dice too, you need to be able to put some damage out. And since he doesn't have a daze this time, he's not. I would take advantage of his full action and smack something with the Morning Stars, then slay it with the ballista or something, or even lead with the rock.
Did they not roll the pillar?
It appears that they did not.
All right, well.
So, for future
anyone
reference,
watching,
everybody.
I was gonna cast reflex boots. Very interesting. Putting the leather
It is
boots away.
I don't know that I would have done that myself, but
I mean,
it's a shot in the
he
dark.
puts the +2 defense on it.
But the defense is mitigated by the Tanglevine.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't have done it. I think I just stuck with armor. I think armor was the right choice there.
So it's a 7-up defense.
And he's gonna use all of his mana to pull his guard back in. I think.
Oh, did he force pull?
No, he
Push?
lesser teleported.
Well, I mean, it gives you an extra round, so if he attacks, then you can intercept, and then you can guard again.
I still think, from a personal standpoint, looking back on this game, I think the rock into the face of the Vanguard, followed by a ballista shot into the face of the Vanguard, leaving you with a full action to be flexible with. I would probably then move the Panzer Guard into the same zone because that Vanguard's likely dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on this.
I think that's your best option there. You're probably gonna take a pissed off Assyrian defender hit because the priest can knock off the guard from the Panzer Guard. Mm-hmm. That's probably fine. You had 3-4 armor.
Well, it's better than taking possibly 3 different sources of damage repeatedly. And he's gonna go for the priest. This is probably just gonna be game right here.
Yeah, so that was what I mean. So, from a tactical standpoint, if you're listening, MrBubu, for advice of what I would do instead. Spike down the Vanguard, spike down the Defender after that, like turn by turn, systematically, and then turn all your hate onto the Priest.
I would agree with that. And he's asking if there's going to be an intercept here. I mean, honestly...
No, if I were
RedBeard, I'd be like, no, I don't want an intercept.
Yeah,
I'm fine with this.
Going to based on that, yeah. I wouldn't either. It's one of those, like, it doesn't make sense for him to jump in the way.
And he chooses not to. Yeah, because, I mean, spread out the damage. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost at 40 life, you know? And he's going to take a bit of damage, but, you know, it's 11 damage versus, 32 he has to do, so... And CapnRedBeard has more dice in the field as it stands right now.
And that's what I mean. Like, you got to get rid of his sources of damage. And
yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that.
I think... Looking back on it, something to learn would be to use that ballista on the Vanguard, throw a rock at him, and then, since you have the first full action, walk your guard right into the zone.
Mm-hmm.
The guard is tough as nails. There's no reason, even with the Pillar of Flame being there, I'd probably still walk him in there.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably not going to take any damage, and he might take a daze.
Right.
You know,
but he's not there to do damage. He's there to guard you.
Mm-hmm.
So, just things to think about if you're watching. The Warlord's a little tough to get right the first time, I think, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Took me a while to get him, at least, I'm still working on the Blood Wave. I'm not that good with him.
He really is a tough mage.
I think he's got some potential to be really strong, too, if he's not already considered that way.
Mm-hmm. You know, we haven't seen that Elemental one get used this whole game, and I'm really, disappointed, because I want to know what that spell is.
I still bet it's a rock. Oh, I think they're... RedBeard has Wisdom Teeth taken out that week, so he was a little bit loopy.
Oh, no.
And
Boo-Boo.
Just saying that he's a
I
little
don't know if
lost.
Bubu's from America, so he may not actually...
Understand the expression, yeah.
Means. Like, he might be thinking, like, is he angry at me? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone that's watching that doesn't understand the term, loopy basically means, like, confused, like, not confused, but, like...
Look at it, yeah.
Dazed, like... when you're on medication and you're not all in the head, like your head's all like fuzzy feeling, like you can't concentrate on any one thing.
Yeah, it's considered to be called, or that's called loopy. Being loopy.
Loopy is usually more of a like fun way of feeling in that sense.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to describe it.
You laugh at random things.
And then, I have trouble remembering things if I'm loopy from, let's just say, surgery or something.
Yeah. I believe he does have an action.
Oh, really? He should have an action, whether he wants to use it or not.
He doesn't see if he can attack the Tanglevine because of guard. He can actually attack it. If he wants.
Yes, he's actually able to. I believe.
Because attached to the...
I think he's going to think about it anyway. I'm not sure I would attack that. Hitting the Tanglevine doesn't do anything for you anyway. The fight's going to be in your face anyway, no matter what you do.
There's no point attacking the Tanglevine. It's just going to be like, thanks.
Right. Like that. He actually... I
guess he could gain 2 defense if he kills it, but...
The opposing mage, the priest wants you to attack the Tanglevine right now because you're not likely to kill it with the amount of damage you have at the moment, and you're not putting damage on his guys.
His damage sources are just getting value out of it.
Absolutely, and so at this point, it's a Tanglevine is not the highest threat thing on the board. In fact, it's probably the thing you can ignore along with the Amulet of Life. In my opinion, you could have ignored that too.
And attacking the priest with a ballista, there's just no point in doing all that.
I agree. You can't put enough damage that'll stick on him. He's not got any pressure on him to do other things. He's not using his actions elsewhere, and so because of that, he can basically deal with the damage at later time. But it's okay. It's only the first round. There's still a lot of Mage Wars left to be played in this tournament.
Oh yeah, I mean this is just round one. Everyone's using either their weaker mages or they're coming in strong with their best mages. I doubt anyone's being I don't know what I'm doing in terms of middle mage. We've seen
some run middle tier, some run the.
I guess
upper,
it's up to the player. I don't know.
Yeah, different players do different things. I led with a fairly strong with a mage I felt really comfortable with, and followed it up with another one I'd been pretty comfortable with. So, but that was just personal preference there.
Yeah, I guess it's really actually it could be anything. And
I think it sucks playing from behind the 8 ball there.
I mean, I think CapnRedBeard this is probably his best mage.
He led strong. He's really good with the priest.
And I think that was pretty smart of him because he went into this game not knowing anything that Bubu does because Bubu's never played online. And so he's saying, I don't want to lose this match. I'm going to play what I know is strong, and we're going to see how it works out.
Yep. Get a win or two under your belt because then you have those points, and then you have a little bit of, I wouldn't say breathing room, and you can't take games off, but you have a little bit of we'll call it a buffer. You're able to do.
Yeah, I mean the fact that you can use the priest twice means that you're not afraid of that.
To sustain a loss without it really being super detrimental. Whereas if you go in, you lead weak, and you have 2 losses to start with, you have a big hill to climb back.
And it's better to use your best mage twice in the round robin if you're not going to make it, or if that's what you need to do to make it to double them, because maybe they used their best mages too, or who knows.
Yep, sometimes that's how it goes. All right.
And a Luminous Blast going down, another burn going down on the anvil. That is 2 burns.
And the daze 3 damage. Excuse me.
So the daze is going to add a -2 to defense, and the Tanglevine is -2 as well. And if he gets more dazes down for every day, it's -2 accumulated. So it's a really nice way to counter this.
Especially against a holy book. That's another reason the reflex boots does not trigger a good idea to me, and they're expensive.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And he took away an armor for that too. So now he's down to 2 armor actually.
Exactly. And so now the defender goes ahead and stabs him for 3 or 2 damage total. I mean, he's just at this point he's just doing as much damage as he can to mitigate. Some of it's mitigation of the regen. It's just piled on at this point because he's throwing a lot of dice.
Let's see how these burns do. He's at 28 damage right now. He'll go down to 26. There's 2 burns on him. I mean, this game is essentially over, if you want my opinion.
I would tend to agree with that. There are ways to come back from it. However, it's not going to be
a lot of things got to go in your favor. So it looks like 1 burn's going to get removed. Burn damage is going to get added, so it's going to be down to, 26? Or 27?
It should regen here in a second. He should go down to 27.
Yeah, it just did.
Yeah, it looks like... I mean, the burns are doing work this game, especially. Direct damage is fantastic.
And it looks like we're going to go into CapnRedBeard's initiative. He might be able to kill him this round. It's very possible.
I'm betting he throws some attack spells to try to do it.
He's at -4 to his defense. I mean, he can do another daze during quick and then get 1 really good shot off during his main action.
Yep. So, I mean, he did a great job of overwhelming the defenses of the Ambulatory Warlord played by Bubu here. Yeah. And so that's one of those things. It's always tough in the moment to see what the best route out of it is. Yeah. But when you go back and watch it, you can look back on it and be like, okay, I could have made this play here, made this play here, made this play here. So next time when you're in a similar position, you're able to concentrate on finding the route out of the forest, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And something interesting on Bubu is that we never saw that elemental one get used. That was turn 2.
That was first thing off the forge.
A big handicap just to suddenly give yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably compounded on top of all the problems that sort of happened in this game.
Yep. I believe it was definitely compounding.
He's probably having a tough time deciding exactly what he wants to pull. So, anyway, in other news, Mystery has pulled out of the tournament because he has to go to Japan. So, Red Dice Diaries is going to be taking a spot.
Yep.
It's kind of a shame because we all wanted to see how Mystery would do in this tourney, but at the same time, Red Dice is an awesome player, and I'm really excited to see how he plays out.
I'm interested to see how it goes too. It'll be an interesting change to that group for sure. I bet everyone's like, "Oh, good, thank you."
Right, and we've got a few new players actually in that group too, such as like Ash and people like that.
Yep, it'll be tough to predict what's going to come out of that one because there's a lot of unknowns.
All right, looks like moving on to first quick cast, and Luminous Blast immediately comes out. Let's see if he's going to use his defense. I'd probably use it if I were him.
I mean, yeah, I would definitely use it. It's just a matter of.
Oh my! In case you didn't know what he's doing, he's just gonna get +1 for each of those because of the Dawnbreaker ring.
I think what happened was he clicked it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he did. And it looks like the defense is gonna fail. And it looks like 7 damage critical is about to happen, and that I believe is game.
Yeah. Actually, it's the only thing you did. You got a Tim roll there.
7 critical on a Luminous Blast? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
well,
that's
good game.
That's pretty intense there. Well, at this point, it's a discussion about the defenses. Just it's going to end up being a reminder. But yeah, the match results are going to stick there. And
Man, that was a well-played priest. That
was a very well-played priest, and I'm pretty sure it caught
watching that bow just kind of wreck stuff.
It took caught MrBubu off guard there.
Yeah,
it was a well-played game on both sides, and for those who are looking, there's some learning to be done here because it's always fun to watch games and learn some new things. And I think there's actually a lot of good examples of places that you can identify where if you're trying to make a comeback, where you could actually change what you do, and it'll have profound effects on the game.
Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting because you were discussing before how a lot of people think that the priestess is just better than the priest just because the extra channeling and the life gain and stuff like that. But clearly, the bow is actually just better for the priest versus the priestess because
I would tend to agree just because of the chance of burn.
Yeah, and it's just a really you already want to be in their face. Mm-hmm. And the burn chance just sort of adds to that. And that's just one of those big things that I think we're starting to see sort of come out more in this game.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, anyway, thank you for joining me, Shark.
Thank you.
It was an awesome game. I had a lot of fun watching that, actually.
Absolutely. It was a great match. And good luck to the 2 players in the next rounds.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us in this match. Take care.